I don't want you to be in my... Stop. Okay, subcategory number 3. Okay. Subcategory number 3, I had a whole bunch of applique blocks. So I had a category of subcategory applique blocks, okay? Stop. I'm trying, okay? Hey, this is Lorena, and I wanted to do a video for you on, well, it's a New Year's resolution for me, and this resolution is getting my quilting projects done. Yeah, I ended up joining a quilt guild, and they had a program called GED, Getting Her Done. To me, they used to be UFOs, but however they name it, it doesn't matter. And one of the things that you had to do is kind of like, to do part of the challenge, is kind of had a like plan for the year. But I joined kind of late at the end of the year. But this year, it's a resolution for me to get these things done. The neat thing is when I started joining the program, I did get, which is exciting for me, 6 of my items that I did when I put them on the list. So that was very helpful for me. But this year, I'm a little bit more motivated and driven. And so that's what this is going to be about. All right, so let's get started. Why do you want to do this? Well, you know this quilt right here? I found it in an antique store. It's beautifully hand-pieced. She's beautiful. And I think probably it was an older lady, and she folded it and put it away in a drawer, and then probably, you know, she passed. And her kids didn't appreciate it, and they probably gave it away, sold it at a garage sale, and an antique person got it, and they sold it at an antique store, and I got to purchase it. So I have a lot of quilt tops. I have a lot of step projects that I've started and not finished, and I don't want my kids to kind of like disrespect them. I put a lot of time in them. I put a lot of work in them. I put money into them, and so I want to finish as many as I can before I pass, hopefully. Yeah, that's my plan. Or at least get my favorite projects done. But look at this. It had this beautiful embroidery, hand embroidery on it. I paid $30 for this. And it's beautiful. Isn't she beautiful? It is well done. It is not... she does have a couple stains. But I think it's so pretty. You can't beat it. I spent $35, $39 on this quilt. You won't bark in here. Gosh. It's not funny, Lily. It's not funny. I'm trying to film. I'm sorry, Lily. I'm not letting you out. You're being a pain. You see her right there? She wants to go out so she can be barking at everybody and making my life harder. And I bring her in here. She's like, let me out, whining at me. Dogs. All right, let's talk about the list. When you're making your list, initially I grabbed all my quilts and my projects and put them on a table. And I kind of chicken scratched a list. After I chicken scratched the list, I realized that I needed to sort my projects. And so I created categories. While you're making categories, make them to fit you. I ended up making a quilt top category, meaning quilts that pretty much were almost in a quilt top. They were ready to quilt almost. I also had a category of quilt blocks, antique quilts, and I think projects, clothing, and what else? An applique category. Those are my categories, but those are the things that I was working on. And so make your list and your categories fit your style of project making. These are my bins. I bought these shelving units at Walmart. I think they were Home Goods as a design. I've talked about them before. These bins are like $9 and the shelves were like $40. You can fit a lot in these things. What I did in my bins, I shoved all quilt blocks projects in here. Now initially I sorted quickly, meaning quilt tops, quilt blocks because it was a mess and I was looking for the projects and I just was creating the list. As I sorted them, I put my projects in these bins, or what you could do is put the projects where you can find them. But I recommend you organize them by category. It would be a lot easier for you down the line to find them when you're looking at your list and you want to start the project. You know where like the applique blocks are, or your quilt blocks are, or your quilt tops are. I bought these at Joann's. I love these. They're really pretty. You can sit them out. And let me show you what I do. Comic boards. Lay the quilt down. Kind of fold it with the comic book board. Just lay it nice and flat. Or I have a bigger one that's in the thing and you can lay it this way. So I went ahead and I wound, kind of put the comic book boards, and so now I have the quilt top and the fabric together, and I just kind of put them in bins. Like I have these beautiful boxes, and so this is kind of like your process of sorting and organizing, and this is a great time to do it. I ended up having a mess, but I sorted by big bins, and then down the line I still have to sort like my quilt block bins and put them in bags and organize them better. But I just kind of shoved them in there, and I knew that from the list, everything that's on the list, it's in one of these bins, and so it's easier to find, but I could organize it later, kind of a quick sort and quick kind of putting them in a place where you don't have a chaotic mess in your house. Then I started kind of like wondering, how can I really get these tasks accomplished? So I went ahead and I started deciding how can I organize it in such a way that I could create a plan of attack. Plan of attack is really you planning so you could attack your projects and get them done. And so I need to make a pattern probably of this quilt block and just kind of make a design for it if I wanted to, of the quilt top itself, and then kind of plan for that. But at this time it's in process. I found the fabric. I went to the store and I found fabric that perfectly matched it. I kind of carried this around my car when I knew I was going to go to a quilt store, and literally I found fabric that matches specifically to this block. In this list, this is number 28. I called it Pink Joe's Club Blocks. Post-it note and put quilt number 28. My plan of attack for this quilt is I need to buy more fabric, which I already did, to make more blocks. I need to create a pattern, design a border for it also, and start making blocks. And that's just right now my plan of attack for this project. When I look at this project, I know what I named it on my list. I need to put the name of it. Well, at least I know it's number 28. And I know kind of where in process, what I need to do to get this going. And it gives me kind of like a general idea of what I need to do to start working on it and where I'm going to put this. This is going to be on my quilt blocks bin. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make these stickers that are called Plan of Attack stickers. And I'm going to kind of, one is what materials I need, and the other one is what task I need. And I could stick them on the bags, or I could pin them on the material that I'm working on. Now, like I said, some of my bins, I still need to go through that and start making Plan of Attack stickers for them. But at least I know where my projects are, and I know where it is on the list. All right, the next thing, which is more important than all the other stuff, it's making time. Yeah, I work for clients and I do embroidery and longarm quilting and vinyl work for clients. And so I work for my community and I work for others. And I've noticed that when I get really discouraged, it's not the work, it's when I don't have time for myself. So I decided one day out of the week, I don't care what day it is, it's not a specific day, I'm not going to work for nobody, not even YouTube. I'm not going to be editing a video. I'm not going to be filming. It's going to be a day that I'm going to focus on my projects. And honestly, when I woke up this morning and I knew that today was going to be for me, I was so excited. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Okay, but I really was. I woke up, I was like, okay, I could do like this quilt, and it's gonna be so much fun. And I also want to finish my set of earrings that I'm doing. They're so pretty, and I'm gonna go downstairs because I have my stuff for jewelry down there, and I'm gonna make myself some pretty earrings. So today is for me. It's about no one else. And I think maybe when you procrastinate, it's because you do so much for everyone. So maybe why you don't do projects is because you don't value that you're just as important as everyone else. So I'm so excited I'm doing this quilt. All right. Okay. Finally finished this, at least quilting it. Now I'm gonna use this back fabric as the binding. I didn't make this quilt, but I found her in an antique store. I paid 40 some, well, I showed you the receipt a minute ago. But look at it. I was surprised when I found out that these were all hand appliqued. Beautiful. Now I need to bind her and get her done. I look tired all of a sudden, right? It's getting dark. I kind of like the time change, but then I kind of don't because I lose my light. I'm gonna put another quilt. It is another Get Her Done. It's a quilt that I did several videos on a while back. It is, I was gonna do an antique quilt and I changed my mind. I found this one downstairs when I was talking to y'all about how I made a list. This is, I think I used nine fat quarters to make this quilt, and it's a scrappy quilt. It's a really beautiful quilt. I will post videos of it at the end of this video, and also I'll put a card up here. The neat thing is because I bought that back fabric, that blue back fabric that's over there, I was like, oh, and I remembered this. I forgot that I did this. And so it's kind of neat that I'm going to quilt it. So I'm going to go ahead and baste it, get the long arm ready, and I'm going to see if I could get 2 quilts done today. Ooh, 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 for me. I'm getting 2 quilts done for me. Oh my God. Is that real? Is it really happening? I could just leave and come back tomorrow morning. And I'm like, no, it's going to be a hassle. It's really only taking me less than 30 minutes to quilt a row. But I'm like, oh, come on, hurry up, let's get out of here. I'm tired, but we're gonna get it done. We're not walking away. We're gonna finish. So yeah, let's keep going. So you wanna make sure like these lines are straight. It's a little bit off. Is it off or am I seeing it off? Feels like it's a little off here, but it's already quilted. But I need to straighten this one out. But because it's scrappy, you kind of can't find where the lines are. So here's like a line. And here's another line. And like I need to iron this because the fabric is buckling real weird. This year, we're gonna conquer our UFOs. This year is the year for me. Please. Confidence. No doubt. We're gonna have like getting him done. This is a year.